but I don't know. I think that's the best they can hope for maybe at this point, because if they keep playing like they were, CompLexity's got this.
If Renegades don't have detailed counter strats for Sombra, it's going to be CompLexity's game, because right now they can't be stopped.
Yeah, absolutely. So we head into Anubis. That'll be our first map right here, and it is a best of 3, but as of late, CompLexity has really been kicking butt, and Renegades struggling to say the least. They'll start on the defensive side, and CompLexity will kick us off on offense. We know that they love the Sombra strategy. Will they use it on Anubis? We saw them do it, use bits of it earlier, and was pretty successful for the most part. But will they use it again? I'm thinking probably. And the real question is, I think, is Renegades, do they, kind of as you were saying, David, do they have an answer for Renegades to Sombra? They need to have some sort of a plan when CompLexity runs that in, or it's going to be a quick match. Mangachu running Mei.
We can do it
That's
together.
something that can help them out a little bit, but this is a big match for Renegades in general here. But looks as though they're not going to be bringing out Sombra.
CompLexity going to run Torque on Genji again. That's been fun to watch this week.
Yeah, to say that's been very fun to watch. And this is how they did it earlier on Anubis. They didn't run the Sombra really first point, but once they started working into the second point is when CompLexity made the switch. So now with Torque, he will be on that Genji, but not really a dive comp coming out from CompLexity of any kind. Just Torque going Genji, and then that's it. They have traded 1 for 1. Winghaven went down. But now the kill's starting to come through a bit more from CompLexity. Torque is trying to get on to, gets hooked in, somehow stays alive. Actually, Nicholas saved the day for him as he was able to take out Jesus. Juvenile very hurt there. That's easy pickings for the rest of the Renegade squad. And Sherlocky's going to be over there on the side, taken care of quite quickly. Renegades stalling as long as they can, but it's, inevitably it will come to an end. So CompLexity getting right to the point there, getting the cap down in a prolonged fight, but it was, I guess, one just long fight. Now we have an opportunity to move into the next point and get cap here, but it's going to be tough to do with Mangachu playing Mei.
CompLexity's going to be rolling into that second point with a lot of ultimate charge. Renegades did get a lot of it themselves, but one of the more important ones, Mangachu's Blizzard's only at 35%. Juvenile 63 on his Earthshatter. Those are two that you'd really want to look to stop, shut down everything for CompLexity. It looks like Mangachu's up there freezing Nicholas out of the fight. Nicholas is going to back off and survive, though.
He does get himself back 3. CompLexity's actually got quite a bit to work with here coming in. There is going to be a Nano Blade out. Torque is going in for it. 2 kills now for CompLexity. Juvenile, Jesus, both out. And Torque's looking for a little bit more on top of that. See Sherlocky off in the back here, and we'll at least just keep him distracted so he can't keep his players healed on the point. CompLexity getting a lot of kills right here, and there will be a self-destruct down on the point, but doesn't find anything. And now Harblue using that whole hog, just trying to knock bodies around, and it will be Jur coming back in to the point. There is a Blizzard down for Mangachu, maybe giving Renegades a bit of life here, but no one from CompLexity has gone down so far, and that's the thing. Renegades needs to start finding kills if they want to keep themselves in this fight and stop them from capping. They do get 1, and now they're starting to come back with a few. There it is, Kib, Mangachu both chiming in, so they stop CompLexity at 1 tick. There, it could have been much worse. I thought CompLexity, I'm a little surprised they didn't get more than that, but they do at least get 1 tick, and that's a step in the right direction. 5 minutes and 15 seconds for them to work with.
Certainly it looked like they had a lot going for them there. Either way, they locked down 1 tick, which on the second point of Anubis matters a lot. 3 more assaults like that and they'll have it. And even taking this second point on Anubis is a big win.
Yeah, tick by tick, I mean, every little bit matters, certainly. So they're almost up on another Nano Blade because that fight was so long. They're just going to continue. They built up so much ult charge. Nano Blade soon to be at the ready. They're going to have an Earth Shatter and Self-Destruct. Could be enough for them, but if Juvenile can land a big Earth Shatter, and they're going to need it to, That could be the opportunity for them, but Mangachu soon to have a Blizzard. Here comes the Nano Blade, 2 kills. Jur and Sure locking both down, but now the Blizzard is going to drop, and that could be a game changer for them. But Mangachu actually went down, so there's not going to be a whole lot of follow-up off the Blizzard. Jesus gets Winghaven. That's a good start for them, and actually getting Winghaven was a huge kill for Renegades because he had an Earth Shatter, and now he's not going to be able to use it. Hardblue getting the Pulse Bomb set onto himself. Renegades striking back with kills. CompLexity is going to have to go to the drawing board. Here is, it's a shame they lost Winghaven, though, to be honest, because he had that Earth Shatter, but now, look at this, Nicholas switching over to the Mei, something we haven't seen CompLexity do too much, which they've done a lot in the past, using Nicholas on Mei. Good to see him back on it.
Nicholas on Mei. Good.
I know you're loving it.
Good to see him on it indeed. Now, Mangachu's Blizzard, just to tease me.
Yep.
You betray me like that, Nicholas. I thought we were bros.
Well, apparently
I was about
not.
to put TJO after my real last name, but fine. See how it is.
He was going to help the brand. The brand is dead now, boys. Let me tell you. Well, here comes CompLexity back in. Nicholas is going to try his hand at Pharah now. Not sure. I'd almost honestly rather see him play Mei than the Pharah if I'm being honest with you, but we'll see. Maybe it'll work out for them. They're trading 1 for 1. Nicholas able to get Mangachu, so no Blizzard yet, but I mean, once Mangachu comes back into the fight, he will have that Blizzard, and the question is, will they have the sustain? Actually, hitting some nice rockets right now is Nicholas, but they do have 2 ticks as well. CompLexity, nice shot from Nicholas, shutting down Jur. Self-destruct is going to land onto the point, and Joe Meister taken out by Juvenile, and Torque quickly finished off right there. Now the Blizzard, that'll definitely stall out CompLexity a bit longer, but on the bright side for them, they've gotten 2 ticks down. So
I think that's actually in the benefit of CompLexity. I mean, honestly, Winghaven was probably going to go down either way. That Nano Boost probably not let loose at the right time, but 4 ultimates for the side of CompLexity with that Blizzard gone for Renegades. That's a big win. They have 2 ticks now, 1 tick away from closing all this out with 2 minutes left.
Yeah, this is certainly an opportunity for CompLexity here. Renegades have done a good job of at least killing off a lot of the time, but Jesus playing McCree. Attempt maybe to shut down Torque on his Dragon Blade. There will be no Nano Blade for the fight, though. And it can be tough to get a lot of value out of just a raw Dragon Blade, but Torque is, I'm sure, going to give it a shot as they come all the way off to the right side. Barrage is up for CompLexity, too. But the real big impact ults aren't really there for CompLexity. I mean, if Juvenile hits a big Earth Shatter, that could just do it for Renegades on the fight. Minute 40 for CompLexity. And both just posturing. Right now, Nicholas is going to come in from the side. Big barrage out from Nicholas. 3 kills for CompLexity here, and that is Juvenile striking back, taking down Torque, who had used his Nano Blade, but a lot of kills coming in for CompLexity. Someone from Renegades needs to get on the point. Kiba's Baby Diva is there. Sound Barrier back in from Renegades. The Earth Shatter from Winghaven completely whiffing, but as long as they can just shove them off the point long enough to just get this final little teeny bit of cap point, that's all they need. Blizzard coming out now. I don't know if they're going to be able to grab it in time. Torque goes down to Mangachu. Nicholas is still in, wreaking havoc on Pharah. He's got to get this kill into Mangachu, though, before he can get back and use his shift. Does take him down. Just a little bit more is all CompLexity needs. Nicholas is keeping them in the fight at the moment, but oh, they're just so close. Can't quite seal the deal. It's a real disappointing if you're a CompLexity fan. That Nicholas is still making it happen, man. If he wasn't here to keep this going, he's going to use the barrage even. Finally, CompLexity finishing it off. Nicholas, oh, the all-star of that final point for CompLexity, hands down.
I'm not always a fan of Nicholas's Pharah play, but that entire run was fantastic.
Oh,
especially when he first broke it out. It looked like he couldn't miss.
Oh, dude, he was just hitting direct after direct.
I mean, honestly, though, why did Mangachu fly that high in the air? It was one rocket. It looked like he went 30 feet. You can see it threw Nicholas off, too. He's trying to lead it.
Yeah, and then there's other times where it's, just he goes a foot. But hey, whatever, it happens.
It's never quite as bad as trying to use concussive on Roadhog, where sometimes he goes completely off the map, and other times it doesn't even look like he moved. And you're like, wait, what?
Hitting those little ledges or whatever it is. It's but there's gonna be and CompLexity. At least they finish it off in the end. That's the big important thing for them. 30 seconds. If they can just set up a good defense like they did earlier today.
Renegades doing a great job there on that defense, though. Juvenile made a number of huge plays to keep them in.
Yeah, that's if they can get that same thing out of him coming into this offense, that would be key for them. But CompLexity, as they were earlier on a lot of their matches, they're going to continue to play this Symmetra on defense. Joe Meister leading the charge with that. And no team today has really been able to get any good hold on first point. It's so tough to hold on to for a long time. Very spread out. And certainly is difficult to hang on to. But maybe if they can get a tally up, and they can knock off quite a bit of time for sure. But Renegades coming out on offense, and it looks like Mangachu is going to try his hand at Pharah again. And Kib will be on the Zarya. So let's see how this one works out for Renegades. Not too shabby of a start for themselves, at least on the defensive end, but let's see if the offense can come in big this time around. Joe Meister already 40%. Mangachu just eaten alive by Nicholas right there.
Joe goes down.
Yeah, Joe goes down to Sherlock. I mean, CompLexity definitely going to win this fight, but I mean, you'll have some time to get Joe Meister back into it, but I'm sure Renegades is going to want to push it quick.
Joe went down early enough. He should be getting back any moment now. With 80% on his ultimate, he'll get a teleporter up, and you won't have to worry about the run back very long.
He's almost there at 84.
Just in time.
Ah, boom. That was so close to it. I thought he was going to get it off of that right click, actually, but they are starting to move in now. Renegades, and that teleporter is up and ready to go. Joe's just trying to figure out where he wants to put it, really. He might even wait till the end of this fight, because I think CompLexity is pretty clearly going to be able to come out on top of this one. So he'll wait, make sure that he can put it in whatever spot that he wants, and they, Renegades won't have an idea of where it is, and he'll put it somewhere where they can defend it too, sitting in the back here. So they're going to be able to set it.
Is open to Jesus throwing in a self-destruct if he can find out where it is, which should be given away by the people coming out of the teleporter. Either way, as long as they get the effect out of it to begin with, just getting a few clutch players back on the field will make it all matter. Right now, CompLexity has 3 ultimates to work with on defense. Actually, let's go ahead and call it 6 if you count Joe Meister's being out already. Harblue and Torque nearing theirs as well. Renegades doesn't have nearly as much to work with.
Sherlock, he went down. Harblue with the flank is able to get Jur. No supports up for Renegades. Make that just no players at all as the whole team wipe comes through. So CompLexity hanging on here. A great defense for them so far. Finally, someone setting up the big defense.
And just a Graviton out of CompLexity to make that hold.
Yeah, this is looking good for them so far. But the thing is, if Renegades does end up getting a point, they just get boom. There's 5 minutes on the clock. So it's going to have to be continued success for CompLexity time and time again. That teleporter is still up for them. Kip now is going to have the Graviton. They'll be looking for that alongside a Juvenile's Earthshatter to really come in big. He's trying to get up on this ledge here to maybe drop down on them and lay this Graviton in, and now he is going to be looking for that opportunity, getting a couple in it, and they actually did get the teleporter, so this is now a good opportunity for Renegades. Winghaven still on this point, trying to do whatever he can. It's a darn shame they lost that teleporter CompLexity, but now Nicholas getting the nano boost. It's not really a whole lot he can do other than just delay at this point, and now Shake is going to drop as well as he gets pressured by Jesus. They're just delaying a little bit more, killing all the time that they can. So in terms of first point, Anubis, that's a great defense for CompLexity because it's tough to get a full hold there. So
the bigger problem for CompLexity, not so much the teleporter, but the fact that they burned every single ultimate they had to try and keep that alive, and they are going to be down on defense at the second point. Fortunately for them, Renegades burned everything they had except for Mangachu's Whole Hog, so everything relatively even between the two.
And I mean, Joemeister, they're going to do this again, CompLexity. We saw them do it earlier. Even on the last point, they're going to stay on the Symmetra and try and get the shield gen up. That's what they had used on the second point anyway, shield gen. They did use once a teleporter, so let's see what they want to go with this time. But Joemeister is just about to be up on it in a moment, and both teams just kind of posturing very spread out from both sides. The shield generator is up, and Hardblue is flanking. He's going to be able to, oh, I thought he was, for sure he was going to secure that kill onto Jur, but unable to do so. That's all right, though, because the rest of CompLexity is chiming in with a whole lot of kills, and they have shields. So that's it's going to be a tough push. Going to be a very tough push for Renegades.
No, but Jesus did just find exactly where that shield generator is, so Renegades could be able to take it out here in their next assault. Jesus working on a self-destruct right now. Kib has a Graviton. Jur with Sound Barrier. Sherlocky's got a Nano. Juvenile really still working on his Earth Shatter, but he'll have it here in the next fight. The problem for CompLexity is that they may not have Blizzard in this next fight. Actually, I'm going to take that back. Torque should be able to get it time. Yeah. I'm just a little bit distracted by the fact that Nicholas is on Mei and Torque is on Mei and Nicholas is on D.Va.
Oh yeah, that's I didn't even catch that at first. That's
probably just circumstance.
Yeah, I'm sure. Normally you do see, you know, you normally see Nicholas being the one on the Mei, but Graviton up and ready to go for Kib. And he's going to lay it right down in the middle of the point. This could be a big one for them. Biotic lands as well. He's trying to make his way into the back to the shield generator. Kib is very hurt, though. Blizzard comes out. Mangachu getting 2 kills. 3 players down now for CompLexity. This is an opportunity for Renegades, but big Earth Shatter for Winghaven, but I don't think the follow-up is going to be there. Still, they've done a good job of delaying. And Hardblue's waiting in behind the point. Mangachu finds that kill as well, and they're continuously finding the kills. Renegades, that's the important part for them. Mangachu even going in for the rocket barrage. There is going to be a self-destruct there. Lands on the point. Doesn't get any kills. Torque is going to come back out and just stall, but they need to start stringing some kills together here. CompLexity, or there's no way they're going to be able to hold off Renegades. All they're doing now is just buying themselves some time, which can work, but you'd love to hold on for now if you're CompLexity. But we'll see. Oh, great rocket from Mangachu. Takes down Shake, who comes up on Tracer. And that is Renegades getting the point. 2 minutes and 14 seconds left in their time bank. 1 minute for CompLexity. It's going to have to be a beastly offense coming out from CompLexity right here. Let's change the sides. But, man, Mangachu, again, these fire plays to seal the deal come up time and time again on this last point. Nicholas did it for CompLexity. Mangachu does it this time for Renegades.
Yeah, great second point offense from Renegades. Really pouring it on for such a long period of time, keeping CompLexity staggered. CompLexity was able to soak up a large amount of time, but just never able to find that footing they needed to claw their way back.
So now it's up to CompLexity. They need to come out with an all-star offense. And I mean, probably the only thing they're going to be able to get is the first point, I would imagine, unless they can absolutely snowball. They need to win quickly on the first fight, speed boost into the second point. I mean, I think when you cap the point, you get maybe a couple of extra seconds or something after the cap, but man, it's going to have to be a very, very quick just cap and go for CompLexity. Even 1 point for them would be great because they had such a good defense earlier that if they can just get the first point, I think they can rely on their defense of the first point to be able to hold on. So we'll see, but it's going to have to be a big offense. They're going for Torque on the Genji again right here, so we'll see what they can come out with. Renegades quad tank. It is, and it's going to be tough for Torque to get into them when they have quad tanks and really deal a lot of damage. Charge coming in right away. Winghaven goes down to Jesus. Not the start CompLexity wants. There's going to be a lot of biotic. They just need to go and die right now and literally go for the reset. They don't have any other choice. There they go. They're all going in to die, but they're going to have to... Oh, actually, Hardblue's all the way behind, too. They're going to try and get him for a late kill.
He can't hide.
Oh, that's not good for CompLexity at all. Now, Renegades now, but that did actually give CompLexity some positioning on the point, but that's about all it's going to give them. They need to come up big in this fight right now, and Nicholas getting demeched. That's not a good start, though. Sherlocky, quite hurt. They do find him, but Actually, none of the CompLexity players standing on the point. Oh, that's disastrous for them. I thought somebody had to be there for sure.
It looked like Nicholas had just tagged it. I thought for sure it was going to go into overtime.
Oh.
That's a disaster for CompLexity. CompLexity's now best case scenario is to draw their first map against Renegades. Renegades are going to have 2 minutes and 14 seconds to assault the first point.
Well, it's going to have to be a big defense for CompLexity, but Renegades, brilliant opportunity for them to take the first map on Anubis. I mean, if Renegades can roll through, have a good offense. I mean, 2:14 is a pretty decent amount of time for first point, because generally a lot of teams will cap it even quicker than that. At least from what we've seen so far in the Winter Premiere, a lot of teams seem to cap first point very quickly. So we'll see. It's going to have to be stellar defense for CompLexity here. Joe Meister again going to run Symmetra. And Torque looking as if he wants to go Zarya? Yes. The quad tank.
CompLexity did hold for quite a long time in the first point last round, so they do stand a chance of tying this up, even though the first point often falls very quickly.
Yeah, they're going to be trying to get that same defense they had the first time around, because that will be at least be able to draw if they can pull that out. But again, Renegades, brilliant opportunity here. The team that has come down to the bottom end of the bracket where CompLexity used to be, or the standings, I should say. Renegades now down there. They used to be on top. CompLexity used to be at the bottom. They've worked their way up. Renegades looking to make a statement. Coming out with the first map here is already going for the engage. And Harblu, oh no, Harblu going down very early. Joe Meister's only at 50% on his teleporter. It's a 1-for-1 trade as Kib got taken down, and now Jesus being pressured quite heavily by Joe Meister, who needs to make sure he stays alive so he can get this teleporter up. Now Juvenile charging across, sends Nicholas into the wall, but Winghaven with the charge to finish off Juvenile. Now Renegades need to go for the reset. Teleporter is up and ready for CompLexity. Joe Meister is going to put that one down. That's big to be able to get that. Now it's pretty much going to be one more real good attempt for Renegades, right? And then they might be able to trickle a few guys back onto the point, but it's go time for them, or we're going to be seeing a draw on map 1.
Yeah, CompLexity is going to have to make a lot of that work with just a nano boost on their side. Same story for Renegades, but CompLexity does have their teleporter up.
The teleporter is going to come in big for CompLexity. Renegades players need to find that nano boost given off, and Sherlocky going down early. That's not good for Renegades. They're not even going to be able to use that nano boost, and Earthshadow was used by Juvenile. They're losing so many guys, actually coming back with 3 kills, but they haven't found the teleporter yet. That's the big thing. So many kills from Renegades, but Nicholas comes back with a self-destruct to kill 3. Torque takes down Kib, and I think that might be just about it. Renegades, I mean, they're probably going to be able to get at least some guys back onto the point here, but it's certainly not going to be a real coherent push for them. A lot of teleport uses used by CompLexity, but it is still up for now. I'll have to see how many charges exactly are on it, but Renegades, this is their last attempt, or we are going to be seeing a draw on map 1. Sound barrier used by Renegades. Mangachu making the switch over to Farah, looking for big value out of him. Hooked back in by Harblu, waiting on the backside, and that is a brilliant kill, and that is all CompLexity shutting down Renegades. We are going to see a draw here on map number 1, I'd imagine, because, oh, Renegades, yeah, they got no one around. That is a big, big hold for CompLexity. And that is a draw, so have to see where we head next, but CompLexity with some good defenses on that first point. Pulling it out yet again.
Well, if you're going to draw on a map, might as well be the first one, I guess, right?
Yeah,
That's
sure.
the second time we've had Anubis draw on the first map. There's such close teams here. They're so neck and neck right now, and it was crazy. They even looked the same on that final point. It was the fire plays on both sides that was able to secure it in the first 2 rounds.
A lot of similarities on this team in terms of what they can bring to the playing field, and whether it be compositions or flexibility between players on the roster. The similar teams in that regard. So you've got to see a lot of kind of similar play styles across the board, but draw on the first map. it's we're gonna be in for the long haul here.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and the big part, man, Nicholas came in clutch there for CompLexity at the end. It looked like they were maybe going to be able to finish this one off and Renegades would take the win, but no, Nicholas shuts it down.
Nicholas, that self-destruct was huge again. He did it earlier today, actually. Saved CompLexity. It was on Hollywood. He does it again. Buy him another drink. Get the dog another one. You know, like that's big stuff from Nicholas right there.
You also have to give Torque credit there. Like the self-destruct was just down, and Torque's like, no, let's have them all stand here where they all die. Worked out really well. CompLexity making the plays they need to at least make sure they don't take the loss.
Yeah, they did what they needed to do. They'll take a tie any day of the week rather than a loss. So, you know, the score is reset. We're going to be going on to a new map. It's as if map number 1 never happened.
Renegades perhaps showing like they're back in form. CompLexity, I don't think there's anything to say that they're playing worse. Renegades is just playing better, more the way that we've expected them to play throughout the group stage.
And maybe Kib is the right decision in this situation. He comes in, plays, is able to take it to this team that is looking so hot right now, draw them on the first map. Randomly selected, Hollywood will be the second or first map, depending on how you want to look at it here. So, go back into this one, back to the drawing board. These guys... Yeah. How are you feeling about Renegades right now after getting this kind of this preview of them?
I still feel like CompLexity's going to take it here. I mean, Renegades, they played pretty good on Anubis, but I wouldn't take a match on Anubis as a real indicator of how good a team is playing right now, to be honest. Just because I just don't think it's, you know, it's not one of those maps.
It's a hard map.
Yeah, it's just not the, I guess, standard map that people play often. It's just kind of one of those outliers. And I'll take this match here with Renegades playing with Kib on Hollywood as a real determiner if it's making a difference for Renegades, because I still think going on to Hollywood or CompLexity are going to take this one. And sticking to standard maps, I think CompLexity still takes this series 2-0.
Yeah, and CompLexity, a team that has looked so good on Hollywood throughout the entirety of the Overwatch Winter Premiere. It's one of the maps they love to run Sombra on. And we've seen them, we got to see it earlier today, and they had some great interaction between Sombra and Symmetra in their first matchup. So, you think we're going to see something similar from Renegades here?
I don't think we've seen anything like that out of them, at least in terms of Sombra play. And I don't suspect to get the same thing.
I'm mostly curious if CompLexity is going to keep running it. It seems like they will, but at the same time, maybe it's time to change it up. You've already run it some today. At the same time, it's been working out for them consistently, so might as well keep going with it. We'll see if Renegades has some form of an answer for it.
Yeah, that's the question. Will they have an answer to CompLexity's to their Sombra?
Magachu's hot again, though. He was tearing it up on the second point, so that could be a deciding factor as well.
I feel like it makes a lot of sense that like Pharah is really good on Anubis. Just that lore-wise makes a lot of sense.
yeah, it does, and I mean it makes sense too from design perspective too. I mean, there's a lot of areas where you can just kind of pop up from the bottom and surprise people too. So lore and map design, it makes sense, but still, Pharah working its way back into the meta slowly but surely. It's certainly been used quite a bit by a number of teams recently, but it's, well, I guess technically map number 2. Now, but essentially map number 1 after Anubis is completely nullified in terms of score, and CompLexity will start off on our offensive side here. I'm just calling it map number 1. I mean, it's, yeah, I don't know if I should, well, either way, whatever, it's a map.
I wonder how Blizzard feels seeing all of these delicate railings they put so much time in just get systematically destroyed over the very first moments of a match.
Jeff Kaplan's just, he's very sad at the moment.
Or perhaps they just look at it and be like, yes, that's exactly how it should break.
Actually,
well done.
Probably the second option, to be honest. That's probably more along the lines, but here we go. Renegades starting off on defense. Quad tank, what do you know? That's what, that's just as, I'm surprised to see that. Now in CompLexity are going to be running, Sombra, you say? That's,
never saw it coming.
No. And, well, it's a fun strat to watch, I'll tell you that. Not too many teams doing it except for them, maybe Luminosity here and there, but see how it works out. Torque, this is the corner he really does like to go in quite a bit.
Yeah, Renegade's not necessarily giving him the free charge, but also not counter-hooking. Whoa, okay, that was really close.
That was a close one. CompLexity just working back. And now Torque ready to go back in. Oh, this time you're going to see maybe.
We give him the second floor.
He's going to be sitting high ground here. He's trying to get in on the Mangachu a little bit, take some damage. Hey, go pick up that health back, build up the ult. He's at 86%, so just about to be up on EMP. His CompLexity. Oh, he's in the back there. Torque having to teleport back out. He's so close to having it here, though. 96. CompLexity wants to make sure not to lose anybody before this EMP goes off. He's coming in. EMP. A lot of these guys from Renegades caught back in the corner, but that's exactly what you didn't want to happen for CompLexity. They lost so many players. I mean, they were really low to start off the EMP push, and then they end up losing a couple guys right after the EMP comes in, and now Torque is, going to get staggered out. So not ideal for CompLexity, but on the bright side, they can build up another EMP very quickly.
Kib, not a fan of health pack parties, apparently.
No, they were, Kib comes in to ruin the fun. And now, going to be looking
Getting close to 6 ultimates up for Renegades. CompLexity and EMP certainly not going to be able to cut through that kind of barrage. Now, if they can lead off with it and take down enough of them, and the most important ones, then perhaps they can expand on it. Torque still looking to generate even a second ultimate here. And 2 minutes in, that is completely throwing off the tempo we've seen from Torque.
Yeah, that's not an ideal situation CompLexity's in right now. I mean, a minute 50, they're bringing up their ults. At the same time, we're pretty much going to be seeing a 6v6 ult fight coming in just a moment. Ults for everybody. There'll certainly be a chorus of ultimates being used, but EMP, that could really be the difference maker in the fight for CompLexity.
Almost a full 6-on-6, and here comes Torque. He's looking for that EMP.
Getting Juvenile. Juvenile should be a pretty big opportunity for them to take down. Finally, Harblue seals the deal there. 2 kills come through from CompLexity. Mangachu got Nicholas as he was outside of his mech. And now it's still Torque in. Finds Sherlocky. This is really looking good for CompLexity here. And self-destruct in from Jesus. Doesn't get anything other than breaking a little bit of Winghaven's shield, but this should, I was going to say maybe go the way of CompLexity, but Juvenile comes back in with a pretty big Earth Shatter, gets hooked before he can really follow up, but there's some other Renegades players there to help out the cause. Jur and Jesus, couple the only ones still up from Renegades at the moment. But slowly they're just trickling back in onto the point. Torque's got another EMP. He'll just let that one fly right away. Man, Mangachu very, very hurt at the moment. He's inside of the cafe, but he'll get healed up. It's the never-ending fight. A good hack from Torque helped take down Juvenile. Mangachu also hurt, and he's isolated by himself here. Nicholas is just going to pelt him endlessly with shots, and actually gets taken out of his mech. But CompLexity still getting kills. And Shake's like, I'm just going to use this Transcendence, keep you guys healthy, try and win this fight. Renegades have done a beautiful job of stalling out time here, though. I mean, Jur will come back across. Finally, CompLexity.
Is that a series of 5 fights or one really long one?
Yeah, I think you could look at it either way. I'm gonna, in my eyes, that is one long fight.
Well, 4 minutes off the clock. Renegades, that's a great hold on its own. Just a few seconds shy of a full hold, and probably not exactly what they wanted, but either way, it's good enough. Taking 4 minutes off of CompLexity's push is certainly a relative victory.
It absolutely is. It took so much time off there, and that's one of the big bright sides for them, but they need to find Juvenile right here. Gets nano boosted. He's still easy pickings. There's a nice Earth Shatter coming in from Winghaven, and there we go. CompLexity now starting to get into full flow as they just clean house on Renegades. Pretty much team wipe right there. Jesus will be taken down right at the end, and CompLexity looking much better so far, but Renegades will have an opportunity to come back out with a Graviton, take another fight here as they come out of the respawn.
CompLexity pushing into the second point here with only a self-destruct. Renegades does have 3 ultimates, one of them the Graviton of their own that they can work with. They're going to want to come out here and shut down this push as soon as possible, leading up with the sound barrier.
Sound barrier is going to be used. Self-destruct from Nicholas, though, is able to get 2 kills going the way of CompLexity now, and Mangachu getting hacked indeed, so things, they should be more easy pickings for the CompLexity squad. After a shaky start, they just breeze through the streets phase, And now 2 minutes and 25 seconds up for them to bring it into last. Still not a whole lot of time, but if they can get some of these stragglers forward, which they do get Juvenile, they'll get maybe some free time off of this card. Jesus probably another one, but Mangachu gets the hook onto Torque. Continuing to trade, but that will be CompLexity getting some free ground off the cart. A lot of ults up.
Yeah, Kib still holding onto the Graviton. Juvenile now with an Earth Shatter. So Renegades does have a couple of weapons in order to take this back. That Earth Shatter going to come out of Juvenile right now.
Oh, big Earth Shatter from Juvenile. Exactly what Renegades needed. And that will take care of pretty much everybody on CompLexity. Stall it out a little bit, and they still have the Graviton to work with. Renegades, so things are looking good, but with how many ultimates CompLexity have right now, it's going to be tough to fight it, as they'll be looking to come back in and get a lot of ground. Try and send this one on home in the next minute and 25.
They're going to have 5 on their side. Yeah, and honestly, Torque can break out this EMP, and he'll still probably have another one for the next fight.
EMP, that Transcendence is there to completely nullify the Graviton. Now Sound Barrier comes following up. CompLexity, 2 kills for them. Hardblue takes out Juvenile. That's a lot of kills. Oh, good hook from Hardblue as well to take down Jur. And they'll be able to kill Jesus then right at the end. A lot of free, or not free ground, but a lot of ground to be made here with the payload. They used a lot of big ultimates there, CompLexity, but so did Renegades. They at least used their Graviton, but Juvenile, they're going to be looking to an Earth Shatter from Juvenile here on this next fight. Oh, good hook from Hardblue. He's might just get the frag. No, not quite. But using his whole hog to make sure that he stays alive for the next fight. 35 seconds left. Self-destruct flying into the backline. Mangachu getting a whole hog nano boost. Nicholas, though, too, with his self-destruct. Mangachu and Hardblue going at it, but Mangachu gets the better in that Roadhog war. CompLexity kills, chiming in from all sides on this point, and they'll be able to bring it on home. 20 seconds left. 19, in fact, to be exact, on the clock for them. But well done in the end by CompLexity after a very, very shaky start.
Oh, Hardblue leading off with a number of hairy hooks there. CompLexity overall slipping him a Mickey and showing everybody why they're generally regarded as an internet Hulk.
Yeah, man, you just really made chat hate you right there.
Chat hates me. Doa is just hand on chin thinking, wow.
That's a series of unfortunate puns.
No, it was there. I had to get rid of it just to end it.
Well, at least you got it out of your system now.
Otherwise, it's going to be the only thing I was going to think for the next 5 minutes.
Well, we'll get your head back into the space now that that's out of the way.
It all starts off with gnarly hooks from Hardblue. Just don't do that, and bad things won't happen to me or Renegades. Maybe that's not exactly what they want to happen.
It's the gnarly hook. And look at this camera work. That's just beautiful. Well, CompLexity, they're moving to the defensive side. Joe Meister is going to be, well, rocking the little Symmetra again. So, and Renegades, I hope Jesus stays on Torb. I know it won't happen, but please, make my day. I bet you'd like to see a little bit of May. Oh, look, he's just having a sit.
I'm always game for May. Always.
Oh, we know that. You're a disgusting person.
True.
Well, at least you know it.
I mean, did you hear those puns a moment ago?
Yeah, that's true.
There's
that's
obviously something wrong with
actually confirmed. But, all right, let's game face on.
Yeah, so far CompLexity getting 3 points. Renegades putting together a pretty great defense overall, but CompLexity just cutting through it over time. Now it's going to be Renegades' turn on offense. Starting off with a pretty good biotic from Shake. It's only going to be about 11%, but 11% matters. 15% for Joe Meister so far already on his Symmetra. Mangachu not electing to go Pharah here.
Turrets all over the place, but Jesus taking care of them quickly. 40% for Joe Meister. Now charging into the back is Juvenile. He's a bit hurt. There we go. I was waiting for that trade to come through from CompLexity. They lost Winghaven, but Renegades now losing Juvenile. And Joe Meister actually went down. Jesus getting 2 kills. And that is all Renegades. Point number 1. Oh, goodness. CompLexity might be in for a rough one unless they can get some defense going through the streets phase, but
that is a significant difference in time.
Absolutely is. And It's going to have to be big defenses coming out from CompLexity now. Joe Meister obviously already switching back over to the Lucio. But, I mean, in terms of ultimates, CompLexity's got nothing because they just got pile drive in the first point. And
yeah, roughly about a 3-minute advantage for Renegades as they run into the streets phase here. They're also up on ultimates, but nobody has any of them yet. Sherlocky's going to be looking for a nano boost relatively soon. Kib with a Graviton, though, and right now it's just toe-to-toe in the streets phase. Regular old shield war.
Earthshatter coming down from Winghaven. That could be enough for them. He gets a nano boost as well to send forward, but Juvenile will get that nano boost on top of it. 1-for-1 trade so far. Nicholas takes down Kib, so it's a bit of a trade battle back and forth. The attack visor comes out from Torque, dealing the damage, not necessarily the kills, but the rest of CompLexity follows up on top of that one. So they will be able to hold on here. That's a good start to the defense that CompLexity really needed through this streets phase. But with how many players they lost and the respawn being so close of Renegades, they're going to have to at least concede a little bit of distance on the payload until they can get all their guys back. But they will be able to do so shortly. We should be seeing them take a fight really as soon as they possibly can, especially because they have the ultimates to do so.
They do. They got two really big ones, and there's one of them, Graviton, coming out from CompLexity. The self-destruct also flying to the back, and it's not going to connect.
Juvenile soon to have Earthshatter. Got to keep an eye on that one. But Mangachu, who's very hurt, is getting himself healed back up. Nobody actually going down throughout that exchange. Juvenile now is going to get the nano boost coming forward. Just about to have Earthshatter. He has it now. Winghaven goes down. And Juvenile had used that Earthshatter on top of it, though. The sound barrier from CompLexity is at least going to keep some of those players alive, and Juvenile actually getting traded out on. But Renegades with slow, steady movement on the cart, just continuing to press it forward, but Shake with that nano boost, giving it off to Torque and just letting him do his thing, pumping damage into the players of Renegades. And they do hold them off there. Still 3 minutes and 30 for Renegades to get to the next point. Kib, a big old Graviton to try and secure this streets phase for Renegades.
Yeah,
but
big comeback there from CompLexity in order to slow down the momentum that Renegades has. Renegades 3 minutes and 10 seconds left in the street phase. That's starting to get a little bit closer to the time that CompLexity had as they push through the second gate. Renegade's going to come through the top part of the saloon. Kib still looking for that Graviton.
He's waiting for it. Nicholas keeping that defense matrix up, not giving him a window to put it down. Kib's still not using it yet. He's waiting. Wanted to wait till he was out of that mech, and there's a lot of squishy targets caught up inside of that Graviton, and that will be a team wipe coming through for Renegades, mowing CompLexity down off of that map. And they will get second point right here. And now CompLexity, a lot of them getting the forward spawns too. Need to be careful, but I think they will be able to make it out of there without getting picked off. So coming back 4 minutes for Renegades. Oh, to move it through. They're looking good here, but we've seen CompLexity turn it on. We've seen CompLexity in a number of teams turn on their defense once this phase of the map starts. So let's see what they can do right here. But coming in, sound barrier, Renegades use it, and there's going to be an Earthshatter out. Hard Blue had used a Graviton. He's sitting at 0%. I think it may have been eaten in the process. Nicholas taking down Mangachu. It's a back and forth trades, 4 versus 4 fight. At the moment now, sound barrier comes through from the side of CompLexity to give them a little bit of extra gusto on this exchange. And they're trying to hang on for now. That respawn of Renegades is pretty close. So CompLexity gonna have to concede a bit of ground here. But Winghaven, Earthshatter at the ready. They need that.
Shake with a nano as well. Renegades, they don't have anything really ready to rock here. Sherlocky with a nano boost, but they don't have the Graviton they're gonna need.
Earthshatter coming in from Winghaven. They need to convert kills and win this fight. Now Juvenile is going to get himself a nano boost, and Winghaven charging way too far into the back goes down to Sherlocky. Oh goodness, Renegades 3 kills coming their way, and they are looking great at the moment. CompLexity going to have to regroup. One last hold attempt for them. Someone's going to have to get onto the payload. Jesus just waiting for an opportunity to throw out a self-destruct onto the point. CompLexity now bringing Torque in on the May. There's a Graviton down. Winghaven getting Juvenile. Now another Graviton coming out and a self-destruct on top of it. Jesus able to get 2. All the kills chiming in from Renegades here. Players from CompLexity just need to stay on the payload, but there's no one alive to do it. A full team wipe out from Renegades, wiping CompLexity. and they'll be able to finish off the map. 2 minutes and 13 seconds, 2 minutes and 12, I believe that was actually left in the time bank. It's going to be a tough road ahead for CompLexity on map number 1 here.
And that gets bumped up to 2:52 due to the time remaining for CompLexity. CompLexity pushed up to a minute, so CompLexity is going to start this off with their final attempt on Hollywood offense. They're going to have to cap the first point in 1 minute in the event that they want to tie. They want to be even standing a chance here, because with 2 minutes and 52 seconds, Renegades might be able to cap this. Should be able to cap this.
Yeah, and that just to harp back on that replay as well. Jesus, that was when there's a shield up in a Graviton and you're trying to use a self-destruct, that is about as perfect placement as you can get with a Graviton.
Right
it's
down the
split.
middle.
It was right in the middle of the Graviton. I mean, your shield can only protect from so much there. And I mean, in that scenario, it was far enough to the side. The shield just couldn't get to the players on that side of the Graviton. I mean, that's a big time to get a perfectly placed self-destruct like that.
Also without sending it too far in the air.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, because it landed right down on the ground at the end. You could, I mean, if you get a freeze frame on that, you can see the split where the shield just can't take off the rest of the people, and the self-destruct, the bomb, is right in the middle.
Here we go. CompLexity, no Sombra, as they're going to push in for their final assault on Hollywood.
They're going to take it all natural here with the quad tank. Now, this is very big for CompLexity. 35 seconds to do it, and it's pretty much one fight. And that's all they have. That hook from Hardblue, not going to be able to connect. They get a kill early here, though, taking down Mangachu, and that's a good way to start it off. Hardblue getting put to sleep, though, and that will essentially put CompLexity a man down for a couple of seconds. They are able to take out Jesus here as well. Very big kills coming through from CompLexity, though Winghaven finished off by Jur, and Hardblue's health is slowly dwindling down, but going to take a breather and get himself back into the fight. Juvenile very hurt, does go down to Joe Meister. And now Sherlocky just about to come up on a nano boost, though, so they need to be careful. If they can get this kill onto Sherlocky, they desperately need to get that kill. Yes, he wasn't able to get the nano boost up. That is huge for CompLexity. And Jesus still caught in on the point. He's trying to delay it as long as he possibly can for the rest of CompLexity, or for the rest of Renegades to get back onto the point. But it's just CompLexity all over the place. Renegades do have a Graviton Surge at the ready. They're just going to go ahead and group back up and let CompLexity try and move this through in overtime. They're going to have to be perfect staying on the payload, CompLexity, but that's a brilliant start for them, and they'll have quite a number of ults going into this next phase, but so will Renegades.
Renegades with an Earth Shatter and a Graviton to try and close this out. Sherlocky also with a Nano. They're going to need to get a full team wipe.
Self-destruct coming in, Earth Shatter on top of that. Nicholas does take down Juvenile. Here comes a Graviton Surge, but CompLexity get 2 kills, and actually a couple kills for Renegades on top of that. So both teams exchanging back and forth at the moment, but I think CompLexity's getting the upper hand in the fight. It's just Sherlocky still in there. He's going to go down. CompLexity having a fantastic offensive push here as they just press on forward. They only had a minute to work with, and they are pushing on through the streets phase. They had to use a lot of ults right there. The only thing they're really going to have is a shake nano boost, but Renegades are going to have to shut this down sooner than later.
Looking for that nano boost. It's probably going to be on D.Va again. It paid out in the last assault they had. Renegades, they're definitely looking to see if they can get Juvenile's Earth Shatter into the mix.
Juvenile's got that Earth Shatter. It's going to be pivotal for Renegades to shutting down this push of CompLexity. 2 kills for Renegades. Here we go. Finally having an opportunity to maybe shut them down here. That'll do it. In the end, Torque and Nicholas are going to try and put the effort in for CompLexity, but man, what an offensive run for them. Only a minute on the clock, able to make it halfway through in the streets phase. Renegades have the time on their time bank to do a similar thing, but I mean, if CompLexity can even put a decent defense up, they will be looking good. Right here, that was about as best as you could hope for from CompLexity in that scenario. The best you could realistically hope for. Renegades, though, in the end, do shut it down. But again, that is That is clutch offensive play coming out from CompLexity. Didn't use the Sombra to do it, just went classic 4 tank and it paid off.
You notice how CompLexity, as soon as they kind of got just outside of the point, they paused for a second. A lot of teams just go flying into the point to try and make sure they have 2 full assaults onto the point because they only have a minute left. But CompLexity, they gathered themselves, they pushed in together. They decided they were just going to make it one good one, and it paid off for them.
It paid off big time, and now see what CompLexity wants to do on this defense. They have Nicholas on May. This is a little bit of complexity, more complexity from a few weeks ago, kind of more towards the beginning stages of the Winter Premiere where they ran Nicholas on May a lot. They haven't done so much recently, but they want to go for the big stalls, and I guess you could consider it, in a sense, some people would consider it cheeky plays, but hey man, this is what CompLexity thinks is going to get them the win, and it certainly has had success for CompLexity in the past running this sort of strategy with the May on offense and defense.
Shake with another biotic to lead it off, already up to 15%.
Every percent matters. That is for sure. And so far, Renegades setting up in through this alley side here. They actually fake the alley push, and they're going to come right back onto the point. Wall goes down, giving that backboard for the charge onto Winghaven. Hardblue will get traded out, but Mangachu also going down to Torque. CompLexity with a bit of an advantage on this fight. Torque really needs to get some heals, though. That's the big thing. Nice right click from Nicholas, too, to take down Jur. And they'll just wait this one out a little bit. Kib actually could be a pretty late kill. Yes, they stagger him out a bit. So CompLexity slowly working on breaking down this time bank of Renegades. Little by little, Winghaven with an Earth Shatter now too. This will be big for them. Mangachu making a switch over to Farah.
It'd be interesting to see if CompLexity has an answer for that. Nicholas might just be able to snipe him out of the air, but Mangachu so far generally pretty great at getting in the opponent's head and trying to use cover in the right ways and showing up at the wrong place for their opponent at pretty much the right time for himself. Oh, that big hook from Hardblue gonna miss. That might be a problem as Mangachu's still flying.
They don't have a direct answer to Mangachu's Farah here. The Earth Shatter whiffs from Winghaven too. The charge right back in is going to do some damage. Jur goes down. They trade out a couple of kills. Just 1 kill. Winghaven goes down to Juvenile. Mangachu now just free reign to do whatever he wants. They need to shut him down. Great sleep dart coming out from Shake to get Mangachu, at least take him out of the fight for a moment. And Nicholas will freeze Jesus for now, but Renegades are getting themselves back in here, and they have gotten a good bit of time down onto the point.
CompLexity
with the Blizzard.
CompLexity, no real answer to Mangachu's Farah. He pretty much just mopped up the point over time in that last fight, and they're going to roll into the Streets phase with 48 seconds left, and that's actually looking pretty good to be able to match CompLexity's distance there, but Nicholas still holding onto a Blizzard and Torque with a Graviton. That's certainly a full wipe in the making.
Yeah, that kind of combination right there can end the game for CompLexity. If they just wait till they come up right, if they just let a little bit more time dwindle off, and then they go and take this fight in the dying seconds and get a full team wipe, that's done. CompLexity's gonna win it. They come in with a Graviton here. Torque lays it. Nicholas is gonna put down that Blizzard too. A lot of guys gonna get caught in it. CompLexity, 3 kills, that wombo combo coming through. Mangachu was only able to get Hardblue, and it's just seconds left for Renegades to get back onto the payload. Someone's gonna have to get there in time to touch it, but the wall goes up from Nicholas to try and shut them out, and I don't think anyone's gonna be able to make it in time. No, CompLexity finishing it off there. Brilliant defense, and coupled with a great offense as well during that overtime period to give them map number 1.
Map number 1 going to CompLexity. They like to go to round 4 clearly, but at least we have